let's see what we can get a conversation started about today. So I did want to apologize for last week. For some reason, Mercury retrograde was in full force, and evidently the first 12, 13 minutes of the show was soundless. And we got it fixed, and I hope that you were able to rejoin us at that time. And because of that, I was giving you the information on the chakra systems and what the different chakras are and what they represent. And we kind of got cut short. So I wanted to, first off, continue giving you that information before we get started. We left off with I was talking about the throat chakra, which is located right at your throat. And the throat covers the compassion and communication, and it also governs speaking and listening. Now, all of the chakras, as we discussed, have a color, a tone, a gift, a function. The color of the throat chakra is blue. The tone is G. The sense is sound of listening and speaking truth. The stone, lapis and blue lace agate, hold the same vibration. It's of the ethereal element and the kingdom of angels. The gift of clairaudience and the power is I speak and listen. This chakra is blocked by lies and untruths. Now, as we talked last week, each of the chakras, they're kind of like the buttons that connect the physical and the spiritual bodies together. So each of the chakras has a function, a physical manifestation in the physical body. The throat chakra rules the thyroid gland, throat, and ears. It controls your jaw, neck, throat, your voice, airways, your upper lungs, and the nape of your neck and your arms. Now, the qualities and the functions of the throat chakra are communication, spontaneity, speaking and hearing truth, creative self-expression, inspiration, confidence, integrity, wisdom, freedom, independence, access to subtler levels of being. So your throat chakra, like with any of the chakras, if there is any damage or malfunction to it, you will notice the effects of that in those areas of the body that it controls. And whether it be the physical or whether it be the emotional of the functional inequalities, pay attention to your body again. It's all about listening to your body and understanding what the message is that you're receiving. Now, the seventh chakra is the second eye. Now, this is another new chakra that has opened up in humanity. This chakra gives us the ability to see beyond the illusion into the truth of what is. It's located at the temples. So where all of the rest of them go front to back, this one goes side to side in relation to the others. Its color is magenta. The tone is A. And its sense is light. It's of the ethereal element, and it's of the kingdom of the archangels. The gift is insight, and the power is I perceive, and it is blocked by illusion. There are no physical effects of it in the body, but the functions and the qualities give us the ability to see beyond the illusion into the truth of what is. And the third eye, of course, is now the eighth chakra, located in the middle of the forehead. It's the color of indigo, the tone of A. Its sense is light, and the amethyst is the stone that it vibrates with. It's of the ethereal element, also of the kingdom of the archangels. The gift is clairvoyance. The power is I see, and it is blocked by illusion. Now, on the physical level, it controls the pituitary gland, the energy body. It controls the endocrine system, left brain hemisphere, left eye, nose, ears, sinuses, and parts of the nervous system. And the functions and the qualities of the third eye chakra are wisdom, discernment, spiritual vision, intuition, insight, imagination, inner vision, idealism, concentration, peace of mind, projection of will, and manifestation. And the ninth, the crown, is the chakra of knowing. It's located at the top of the head and is the color of violet. The tone is B. The sense is thought, and it resonates with clear quartz. It's of the ethereal element, and it's of the kingdom of Creator. The gift is cosmic consciousness. The power is I know, and it is blocked by earthly attachments. Now, all of the chakras, whenever they are functioning and working the way that they're supposed to, they are spinning in a clockwise manner, drawing in the energy, the pure energy from the universal energy field. And as it draws in that energy through each of the chakras will then distribute that energy through the physical body that it is, in a sense, responsible for, that it rules, that it governs and influences. So with the crown, the physical body it controls the pineal gland, the brain and the mind, the cerebellum, and the right brain hemisphere, the right eye, and the central nervous system. And the functions and qualities of the crown chakra are the higher self, spirituality, perfection, divine wisdom and purpose, integration and unity with Creator, universal consciousness, bliss, and enlightenment. So all of the chakras play a very, very important part in our well-being, in our energy, in our thoughts, our feelings, our behaviors, our moods, just as much as the false beliefs have an effect on it. So the process is for you to be consciously aware that your chakras are fully functioning, that your light tube is functioning, because your light tube is feeding and distributing all the energies, just like the stalk or the stem on a plant nourishes and feeds each of the leaves and the other branches and stuff. Your light tube is very, very vital in the functioning of all the chakras, because since the chakras are connected to the light tube, if there is any damage to your light tube, then your chakras are not going to be able to function. So this is where I would invite you to go to my website, listen to the meditation of creating your center. This will give you the tools to be able to check on your own chakras, to know what that means, to meet your guides, to also get work with them, learn how to work with them and get their assistance in providing you with this information and guiding you through the use and benefit of it in the body. Now, we also have secondary chakras. I kind of refer to these as the backup system because due to trauma or an increase in your vibration, any kind of extreme emotion in your body can crash your light tube, and it can also cause the chakras not to function. So it's always a good idea just to get into the habit of checking on your chakras, making sure that they're functioning. And a lot of times it's so simple. Just tune in, talk to your guides, ask the question, are my chakras functioning? You'll get a feeling, a yes, a no. You may hear it. Each of us is different in how we receive things. So it's just important for you to establish that connection, to ask the question, because you can never get an answer to a question that you do not ask. So these are some of the things that you want to create the habit of for your highest good. Now, the secondary chakras, these are unique to each person. The hands represent healing, and they are the seat of your creativity. What the chakra is shaped and looks like, this is where all of them. This is where they are specific and unique to each person. The chakras in your hands and your feet and your knees will be of any geometric symbol that is to your benefit, and they can be of any color as well. The knees represent movement and stability, and the function, which is their function and their purpose. And the chakras in your feet keep you grounded and connected to the earth. So when you start feeling really, really flighty, spacey, not all there, see if you're grounded. See if your feet chakras are functioning. Make sure that your root chakra is also functioning, because that is your primal chakra, your root chakra, keeping you connected to the earth. So the chakras will, again, as each chakra, we talked about how large they are. And as they're spinning and moving and creating the flow of energy throughout your body, they will kind of blend. They will create, the combination of your chakras together will create your auric field. And depending on which color your field, your aura is at any given time, tells you a lot about which chakra you're functioning off of, which one is prevalent in that moment. I know that whenever I'm teaching classes and doing my radio show and doing sessions and healings, that my aura will have a tendency to be more of the blue and the purple, because I'm working with a lot of those energies. So your chakras are just really, really a fundamental basic part of our physical well-being. And you combine that with the information that I previously given you on how to read the body and what the different parts of the body mean. The left side, the right side, the left side being anger, the right side being resentment. From the solar plexus down is fear. And then you just start layering this information and knowledge that you get over that foundation, and you just begin to see a picture. Your angels are creating a picture for you of what you need to work on, what is serving you, what isn't serving you, how to fix it. All of our answers are within us. We just need to learn how to access them, to understand what they are when we receive them. We're not going to ever get an answer, at least I would never get an answer in a physical voice. I know a lot of people are clairaudient, and they do get their answers that way. Other people, I forgot the word. Clairaudient. They hear the information. My gift is more clairsentient, so all I have is the knowing. I don't hear, I don't see, I'm not clairvoyant. I just have the knowing and the clairsentience. So that's how I get my information. To me, it's all about a feeling. And the interesting part about that I want to share is that when I was first learning and discovering the tools and learning how to work with them, I know that a lot of my teachers and mentors would talk about see it, hear it. And I would get so caught up in trying to see and hear that I wasn't allowing myself to be aware of the information the way that it was coming through me. And I spent a lot of years trying to learn how to hear internally, learn how to see internally. And finally realized that was just not my gift. It was not something that I was going to have. And each of us have different gifts. We may have one or the other. We may have a combination of several of them. And this is the reason why I say to you, however you receive it, don't get caught up in trying to hear or see something internally that is not your way of communication. We all claimed and chose the different ways that we would have access to our higher self and to our our ancient wisdom within us. But we've just been taught not to pay attention to it. We've been taught that it's not real, that it doesn't exist, that if you're hearing voices, you're crazy. If you're seeing things that aren't there, you're crazy. So the stigma that is attached to clairvoyance and clairaudience is so socially restrictive that those who do have that gift, don't usually share it. So I just wanted to remind you, don't get caught up in trying to think a thing makes it so. Don't believe that is the only way that you can get information and that the information is going to come to you. You will get it the way you need to get it. When I finally quit trying to push the river and create something that wasn't there and just started paying attention to what my gift was, I started getting all kinds of information. And the more that I trusted it and acted on it, the stronger that it became, and the more that it was reliable, and the more that I could trust it and know that the information that I was getting was true and valid for me. You always have your own answers. All anybody else can do is assist you in finding them. And that's what this is all about, is giving you different information that will allow you to shift the crystal, to understand what you know different, to see the world you're living in it from a different perspective. It's still the same world, but how you see it is unique to you. And if you keep trying to see it the way everybody tells you to, it's not going to work for you. We're going to be unhappy, miserable, and sick, as long as we go against what our own truth and knowing dictates. So please, pick up the phone, give me a call, 773-897-6227. Again, that's 773-897-6227. I would love to hear from you. I would love to get a confirmation that we're definitely still on the air and that all of the words that I'm saying are being heard. And I would love to hear your story. Share the experiences that you're having. Are you using the tools? Are you implementing some of the techniques that we've talked about? Are they working for you? If they're not, give me a call. Let's talk about it. So remember, everything is perspective. It's how you understand what you know that dictates the way you see the world. And if the way you're seeing it is creating any kind of negatives, if you're unhappy, miserable, or sick, if you find yourself always defending, explaining, justifying, and rationalizing all of your actions and beliefs and choices, then you might want to do something a little bit different. Who are you giving your power away to? We've talked about the needs. We've talked about the core fears. Are you beginning to see those manifesting in your life? They've always been there, but are you beginning to see it? And if you are, what are you doing with it? How are you using these tools? I think one of the most important things that we need to know is that humanity as a whole, we are all learning the lesson of receiving. And everybody kind of goes, oh, receiving is easy. Just give me something, I'll receive it. Oh, no. That is not the way that it works, especially based on the belief systems. Do you believe that receiving is attached with strings? Do you believe that it creates obligation? What is your fundamental core belief about receiving? Do you see it as good or bad, as right or wrong, as something that you have to earn, as something that you have to live up to somebody else's expectations to be worthy of? None of those are valid. Receiving is one of the hardest, easy things you'll ever do because we're always trying to get approval. We're always giving away our power, giving of our talents, of our possessions, of our abilities, of our heart. We're always giving. But the minute that somebody wants to give it back, or for you to receive, or it becomes your time to receive, That always creates a lot of anxiety in a lot of people because they don't know what it means. It is against what we have been conditioned and programmed. And it's with us in the micro level, but it's all on the macro as well. Humanity as a whole is learning how to receive love, to receive peace, to receive joy and comfort, and to receive all of the emotions and the experiences that we get when we get our needs met. Big lesson is learning to receive. How are you receiving? And it's not just material possessions. In fact, that's the way down at the very, very bottom of the list. How do you receive a compliment? How do you receive your highest good when your ego is telling you that that's not what you really want? How are you dealing with the conflict that is being created? One of the analogies that I use to our journey is a cake, the icing in a cake. And in the analogy, the icing is all of the surface stuff. The icing is what everybody else sees, the image that we project out to the world. It's politically correct. The icing is nice and beautiful, and it's fluffy, and it's decorated, and it's just beautiful. And as long as nobody comes along and sticks their finger in your icing, your world is fine. But whenever somebody does mess up your icing, all of your attention, all of your focus is to get the icing back to looking beautiful and serene and perfect like it's supposed to. The point is you've got to get past the icing. You've got to get into the cake. What is your cake like? Is it healthy? Is it delicious? Is it chock full of wonderful, nourishing ingredients? Or is it full of hate and anger and frustration and the judgments that you hold against yourself and your world? The cake is kind of like what's within you. The icing is what's on the outside. If you just focus on the outside, it may look a certain way, but whenever you start being who you are, the icing really doesn't stand. Your cake shines through. You need to get into your cake. You need to find out who you are. Look within. What do you really feel? What do you really think? Are you so busy being distracted by everything else out in the world that's going on that you're not listening to your own heart, listening to what your own needs are? When was the last time you gave yourself permission to ask somebody for a hug? We always will ask for a drink of water. We'll feed ourselves when we're hungry. But will we nurture ourselves whenever we are emotionally dry? When our well is low? You have to be able to keep your well full before you have anything to give out to anybody else. And if you are not nourishing yourself, if you are not loving who you are, and remembering and believing and affirming and chanting and shouting from the rooftops that I am the only one of me there is. I am a radiant, rare, and precious cosmic miracle. And so is everyone else. We are all uniquely different. And don't you find it a little strange in our society that we are so conditioned to try to be alike? On one hand, talk about speaking with forked tongue. On one hand, we're all different. We're unique. Different color of skins, eyes, hairs, manner of being. There is no two of us alike. But yet all of the conditioning and the programming and the media attention is all on us being the same. We've got to look the same. What's in style? What's in fashion? Whether it's shoes, clothes, hairstyles, whatever it is, there is an underlying current that you have to be like everybody else to be accepted, to be with the in crowd, to be important, to be special, to be unique. But yet all you're doing is making yourself a carbon copy of somebody else's idea of who they think we should be. When are you going to be who you are? When are you going to step up and be that uniquely wonderful, special being that you are? I have a story I want to share with you about that. And, of course, I'm come from the generation to where we were all conditioned and programmed, grew up with the 50s, a woman's place is in the home, women didn't have any rights, all of that, blah, blah, blah. I'm of the bridge generation that bridged the old ways with the new ways, with the 60s and the revolution of our consciousness. So I was conditioned and programmed with the old beliefs and the old ways of being proper, of having your shoes and your belt always matched, and you always wore gloves and a hat and blah, blah, blah. And all of that conditioning and programming that went with how you were supposed to act and what you were supposed to do. So again, at that time, I wasn't that conscious. I wasn't, that aware. I was very conscious, just wasn't aware of a lot. And whenever I was blessed with my beautiful daughter, of course, without even being consciously aware of it, I started doing the same thing with her and putting her in cute little dresses and wanting to make her look a way that society would ooh and ah and totally accept. Well, I'm here to tell you this little girl of mine came in with a mind of her own, and there was no way in this world that she was going to let me dress her in the frilly dresses and the bows and the ribbons. She had her own unique sense of style, and that has carried through to this day. She has the most amazing sense of style, but it started way, way back when she was just a little person. But I was aware enough at that time and becoming more and more aware that whenever she started resisting and objecting and voicing her own desires and beliefs and her own sense of style, that I would at least pay attention, and I allowed her. There were certain things that I would try and force her. Oh, you just have to get used to it. You'll like it once you get used to it. And it was like, oh, no. There was no way. And through that, I was able to evolve through her being in her truth. The fact that she was 2 years old at the time had no relevance on it. She was standing strong in her truth. And in her doing that, it forced me to have to change my perspective and do it different. And this was a thread throughout our relationship as she was growing up, because again, my conditioning and programming was prim and proper. Hers was like, no, this is who I am. I don't like that. I'm going to be me. And she literally wore combat boots with her prom dress, which for her mother just absolutely horrified me. You're not supposed to mix those types of clothing and blah, blah, blah. So as you begin to look within, be aware, pay attention to what others are sharing with you through their experiences. I mean, my daughter was not telling me, Mom, you can't do this. This is not da-da-da-da-da. It was just her being in her truth, and that was enough to force me to shift my crystal and look at it from a little bit different perspective. And the truth was that I really didn't agree with all of that, and was just discovering that I had the power and the ability to change it. Okay. I would love to hear from you. The number is 773-897-6227. That's 773-897-6227. It has been a really interesting time with Mercury going retrograde this time for me. And I'm really, really seeing it manifesting in the show. But anyway, I would love to hear from you. Please give me a call. Just to give me share a comment or to share your story. I think it would be wonderful, and everybody else would love to hear what you have to say as well. Okay, so I wanted to kind of shift the crystal a little bit, and we talked about needs and meeting our own needs, whether it's approval, acceptance, attention, on the emotional level. But I also wanted to present another way that meeting our needs and being aware of our conditioning and programming kind of self-sabotages us. A lot of people, we live from payday to payday, and we're always talking about we need money. We need money to pay the rent. We need money to buy groceries. We need money to do this. We need money, money, money. Everything is focused on the need of the money. We have given our power away literally to money. It is the authority. And of course, without money, we can't do anything based on the conditioned belief that we seem to be experiencing at this time. But let's shift the crystal on it. Is it really the money you need, or is it that you need what the money will fixed? In other words, do you need money to pay the rent, or do you just need the rent paid? Do you need money to buy groceries, or do you just need to be fed? In other words, when you focus strictly on money being the only way that you can have the need met, then you close off any other way of it happening. You close off any other opportunity that is being provided or presented to you to meet your need. If somebody came up to you and said, here's I want to pay your rent for this week or for this month, would you accept it? Would that be just as good? You just wanted to have the rent paid. Did you actually need the money? Stop giving your power away and making the money the authority, and just start opening the door for the need to be met. Whether you need to buy groceries or make a car payment or go to a movie or have a night out, whatever it is that you need, put it out there in the sense, in gratitude. This is your job is what? God's job is how. There is not just one way for a need to be met. So when you open up the avenues of the energy to flow to you without shutting them off because they don't look like what you think they're supposed to, or you've never experienced that, so you're afraid of it, look and see what is different. How can you open up the avenues? There is bartering, there is trading, there is paying it forward. There are so many different ways that we, as the loving human beings that we are and are becoming more so, are discovering to help each other and to assist each other. Unfortunately, there's a lot of us who still hold the belief that it's, I can't accept any charity. I can't accept somebody else helping me. That makes me even less than what I already think that I am. And, I got to tell you, it's time for those thoughts and beliefs to go away. That is just not the way of the world anymore. And your job is to be conscious. Look around. How can you help? How are you paying it forward? Even in the littlest, the smallest things. There was a video going around on the internet here recently of a little boy bending down to tie a little girl a shoe. The human kindness. The little girl needed her shoe tied. She really, and her conditioning and program, she would go to mom, or to dad, to somebody she knew. But she didn't have those doors closed, so the little boy comes along and offers to tie her shoe, and she lets it. She got the need met. She got what needed to be taken care of in a very loving and special way. And that is possible for all of us. There are so many out there who are so willing to love us and to share with us and to allow us to share with them. But we're afraid of each other. We're afraid to open our hearts and to talk to the strangers on the street because of how they look or what you've been conditioned with. We've got to be more conscious of the being rather than the house that the being lives in rather. Feel each other's heart. Learn to receive the love, to receive the affection, to receive a different way, to receive knowledge, to receive what your heart desires, even when you haven't got a clue how that's going to happen. That's part of the process. You're not supposed to know. It's that empty-handed leap of faith. You trust. You know that it will be taken care of. But it's going to be very, very hard for those needs, for those things, for you to trust those kind of things when you're still believing that you're less than, that you're not good enough, that you're unworthy, that you've always made a mistake, that you're unlovable, or any other judgment that you place on yourself. The absolute key to everything is letting go of judgment. Judgment is what keeps all of the negativity, all of the horrors, all of the abuse. It's what it all keeps it going is judgment. So when you quit judging, when you start accepting and just letting things be what they are, that's what's important. Even with my daughter, that was one of the things that I learned. Quit judging what she's doing and just let her be who she wants to be. Who am I to say that that's wrong? Who are any of us to say what's good or bad or right or wrong for another person? We can't even say that for ourselves in a sense. Okay. If you're just joining us, this is Easy Knowing with Sherry Kennedy, and I would absolutely love to hear from you. Tell me what's going on in your world. Share your stories with me. Are you evolving? Are you learning? Are you applying? What are your experiences like? And how are the people in your world reacting to the changes that you're making? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it confusing? And are you letting each person, including yourself, be where you need to be in the moment? That's the most important part. Be who you are. In this moment, all your needs are met. In this moment, all is well. And if you keep trusting and being present, then in the next moment your needs will be met as well. Of course you have to do the work. You cannot just sit around like a lump on a log and expect, everything to be done for you. That's not participation in life. That's not living life. That's just existing on the planet. And that's not what we came here to do. We came here to live, to experience the physicalness of life, to find each other, to love each other, to enjoy this beautiful, miraculous planet that we're living on, to honor it, to take care of it, to nurture it. But we can't do that for the planet or for anybody else if we're not doing it for ourselves. You cannot give to someone else what you do not possess yourself. And you cannot receive from anyone else more than what you possess. If you only love yourself 10%, that's all the love you're going to allow into your life. And that's all the love you're going to be able to give out. But when you start accepting yourself as this beautiful, radiant, rare, and precious cosmic miracle that you are, and begin to understand that, wow, hey, maybe I am doing pretty good. Maybe I am special. Maybe I am unique. Maybe I do have something to offer. At least some of the people who know me love me. And if that's all you can hold on to, then hang on to that. Do whatever you need to do to allow yourself to forgive yourself, to quit judging you, to allow yourself to be human, to allow yourself to make choices that lead you to understand that that was not something that felt good and you want to continue doing. It doesn't make it good or bad or right or wrong. It only gives you the opportunity to choose different. It's just what is. Everything just is, and it is our reaction to it that makes it good or bad or right or wrong. So if you are finding a lot of bads and wrongs in your life, then you need to look and see what it is that you are judging. And stop it. Give yourself permission to be happy, to be loved, to be lovable, to be loving, to be caring, to be nurtured, to be nurturing. You have to give yourself what you want. How else are you going to recognize it when someone else offers it to you? And of course, just because somebody offers something to you doesn't mean you have to take it. You have free will and free choice. You get to discern. But discern, don't judge. There is a huge difference. Learning to be who you are is really a lot of learning to let go of everything everybody else wants you to be. Everybody else always has an opinion of your life, of your choices, of your experiences, and everybody is so very willing to share with you all of those opinions and judgments and advice and comments, whether they're solicited or not. It's up to you to decide which ones are nurturing, which ones you want to keep in your life. And you do have a right to say, we're not going to talk like that anymore. You know, that is unacceptable to me. Give people, when you tell them what not to do, you also have to tell them what to do in place of it. You know, I don't like it when you touch me there, but I love it when you touch me here. You know, I don't like it when you talk to me this way, but I love it when you talk to me that way. You have to be able to give people a point of reference for what it is that you want in your life and what you are creating in it. And I will always keep going back to the belief and to the truth that it is your job is what and God's job is how. And it doesn't matter what it is. You have to create the picture. If you are so busy trying to figure out how to create what you want, you will never ever have what you want. Because there will be so many challenges and obstacles that you will get off the path, you will forget, you will go into so much judgment, well, if I haven't gotten it yet, then I probably don't deserve it. It's not mine, it's not meant to be. None of that is true. All of that is based on your self-judgment of trying to do God's job. You have to give Creator a picture of what it is you want in your life. The universe cannot manifest what you do not want. And we talked a little last week about the word no and not. The subconscious, in a sense, does not hear the word not. So whenever you are saying something, I use the analogy, we're always telling ourselves and each other, don't forget to do this, don't forget to do that. When in truth, we should be saying, remember. The word not it's kind of like a placeholder, but it doesn't, what's the word? It doesn't have, it doesn't mean anything. If you say, don't forget, if the subconscious mind doesn't hear the word not, then you're going to be saying, do forget. All righty, I got a call coming in. And let me see if we can get this thing to work here. It's always fun to have somebody calling. Hmm. Okay, are you there? Wow. Well, I guess they didn't want to talk after all. They just hung up. Anyway, I apologize. I hope you get a chance to call back. We'd love to talk to you. So, getting back into focusing on what it is that you need to, the picture that you need to create for the universe, for yourself, for anybody. What do you want in your life? What you want to manifest has to be spoken in first person present. I am, it is, I think, I feel, I believe. It's really, really important to... Hello? Hello? Are you there? Hello?
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you? To whom am I speaking?
I'm good, thank you. I'm Samantha. I'm calling you from New Jersey.
Hi. Did you want to share something with us?
I did.
Okay, please do. I'd love to hear it. Uh-oh, we just lost the call. I don't know whether this is Mercury retrograde or what's going on. I do apologize. I have all of the buttons on my end are in the proper place at the proper time, but there is just an issue going on here. Anyway, Samantha from New Jersey, I would hope you get a chance to call back, and I do apologize that we dropped your call. Okay. So, paint the picture for the universe. Paint the picture for yourself. Create a vision board. Last week we talked about make a wish list. You know, we're so familiar with the negative. We're so familiar with what we don't want in our lives and how we're not going to experience it and all of this kind of thing, that we need something to put in its place to change, to shift the energy. So one of the things that I suggested doing last week was creating a wish list, kind of like a bucket list. But this is a wish list, something that you want to manifest either in your being, in your life, in your consciousness, wherever and whatever. Draw the picture of what you want to manifest in your life. Don't make it conditioned on anything else. Just create this beautiful picture. When you step outside and you look at the sunset or see the moon rising, there are no conditions to it. It's just this beautiful picture you're seeing. Create the image of what you want in the same way. Create it clear, without conditions. Every time that you start thinking about wanting it, go back to that original picture that you created. That's part of what the wish list is. When you start thinking about what you cannot do, what you cannot have, who you cannot be, go to your wish list and remind yourself that you can do and be anything that you give yourself permission to. It is your choice. Yes, we're all limited by our experiences to a degree and by the soul agreements that we came in fulfilling and meeting for ourselves and with each other. But we can create our reality within that picture. Focused on what, let Creator take care of how, and every time you start wanting to figure out how, get back into what. And again, the what doesn't mean that you just sit around and do nothing. You have to participate. And the analogy that I gave in the past is that if you want to, say, for example, if you're looking to rent an apartment And you're going to have to create the picture of what? You want a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. You want a washer and a dryer and a refrigerator and a stove and carpeting or non-carpeting or whatever. You have to create the picture of what you want. And then you have to be willing to get out and look at the paper, talk to friends, do your part to find it. But because you have created the what in your search, all of a sudden the exact perfect thing that you have created will manifest 10 times better than what you imagined. But if you get caught up and you're saying, oh, I want a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, blah, 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 and you're going, oh, but I don't deserve that. I can't have that. And then you start going, well, I could deal with a 1-bedroom. Or I could deal with a 2-bedroom, but I could deal with, I need a 2-bedroom, but I could deal with a 1-bath. So you start changing the picture. You start modifying it. You're getting very, very confusing. What is the picture that you are creating? What are you telling the universe? Do you want the 2-bedroom or do you want the 1-bedroom? You've got to stay focused on your what. Lock it in. Know what it is. Be specific. And then go out and pay attention to how it's being presented to you. All of it's perspective. Everything that you're experiencing is perspective. Pay attention. Listen to your heart. Follow your own truth. And if you don't know what that is, ask. Keep asking the questions internally. Keep talking and going within. Meet your guides. Know who they are. Trust them. Work with them. They've been with you since the day you were born, and they are there specifically to work with you. Whether you say it in a prayer, a question, a statement, however you do it, ask. Ask the question. Because if you don't ask the question, you can never receive the answer. Well, I see it's just about time for us to be saying goodbye. I want to thank all of you for joining me. And in spite of Mercury retrograde and all of the little glitches that we've experienced during this show, thank you so much for being there. Thank you for listening. And until next time, follow your heart song and paint the world with the colors of your soul. Bye-bye.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be confusing. Like Swedish techno confusing.
Bark, bark, meow, meow. Dance with me, purple cow. Bark, bark, meow, meow. Ooh, you lovely cow.
Geico makes it easy. With 24/7 access, all you have to do is go to Geico.com and you could save money on car insurance. It just makes sense. Unlike,
Dance with me, purple cow. I like your moves.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be confusing. Like Swedish techno confusing.
Bark, bark, meow, meow. Dance with me, purple cow. Bark, bark, meow, meow. Ooh, you lovely cow.
Geico makes it easy. With 24/7 access, all you have to do is go to Geico.com and you could save money on car insurance. It just makes sense. Unlike,
Dance with me, purple cow. I like your moves.